Okay, I'm going to create a quick little video here to show the process of adding new image sub-asset types on your FA Davis Censure server. First thing is, this has to be done by an administrator. It cannot be done by your normal users or your client users. Okay. So first thing, let's show the process of what we have currently. So I'm going to edit the metadata on one of these images. You notice FAD code here is process, or PROC is the code that we're looking at. And that is where we're going to be adding new image asset types and assigning a code to those. So right now, this particular image is an image asset type with a sub-asset type of procedure. So this list here shows the sub-asset types that we created when we configured your system originally. So we want to be able to add new image sub-asset types here and also apply a code to those specific sub-asset types. Okay? And this again is all a requirement for this update FAD code server action that's available to the users. All right, so I have my client window and I also have my admin window open. There's going to be two types of master data that we're going to be changing. We're going to be changing the asset type master data, and we're going to be applying the code as a value list for a specific feature type, and we'll go through that process, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create an asset type, a new asset type, and this is going to be a sub-asset type of image. Picture is, oh, sorry, let me back up here to show you what we've got here. So we have a number of asset types that are available. We're going to be making changes to the image asset type picture. I'm going to do a search here for all picture asset types, and picture is the name that's used in master data for legacy purposes. They recently changed the name of the main asset type image. It used to be called picture, it is now image, but they could not make changes obviously to the code or the base code that was developed for Censure. So I just did a query, or narrowed my search results down on my full list to only show me asset types of picture. So these are the sub-asset types that we created for the main asset type called picture and or image. So we want to add a new asset type or sub-asset type for picture. So I'm going to create a picture dot, let's call it test1, sub-asset type for image and or picture. This is the display name, and then give it the display name of test1 with a capital T. Everything here needs to be lowercase letters and or numbers. All right, so I'm going to hit OK. So I have created a sub-asset type called test1 for image and or picture. So now we've got to create the code that's needed for that asset type, and we're going to do that by adding a value list to an already existing feature that's in your system now. So I'm going to go into the features list and I'm going to pull up FAD image type. So this is a feature list that is used to create that code for FAD code. So this is a feature list that ties the value to a actual code. So we want to use the same syntax here. We want to use value for the name of the asset type, and the actual name is going to be the code that's going to be represented in the FAD code option. So I'm going to hit plus here and create a new list, or a new line item here for this value list. So if we use value as the full name, I'm going to call this test1, which is the name of the sub-asset type in your asset type here. I'm going to give it the code here for name, and let's just try TST1. That'll be the code that's going to be represented in the FAD code feature. This is English and German. The software is written by Germans. They made that a mandatory field, so usually we just use the same name for English and German. And give it a sorting value here. And the sorting value just puts it up here on the top. It goes by sorting value. So we've just created a code for the asset type of test1. Okay? I'm going to save that. I'm going to close this. All right, so now back to our client. I'm going to take one of these images. I'm going to edit the metadata. We should now see a new image subasset type called test1. I can select test1 as my subasset type, save it. You notice right now the FAD code still says process, which was the previous, so you always have to update the FAD code with this action button. You notice when I hit the action button, it now has updated the FAD code to TST1, which is the code that we applied under the features value list for image type. Okay? So I hope that explains it. Again, you can add as many sub-asset types for image as you wish, as long as you also have to add them to the list, value list for image FAD : image type. Okay? So this list must always stay the same as your picture sub-asset types here. Okay? All right, well, I hope that helps. I hope it explains how to add sub-asset types to the image. Again, we removed that from the code, embedded logic from the code in order for you guys to be able to add image sub-asset types in the future. All right, thank you.